And it's like trying to date somebody with kids too. It's like the same thing. Your kids gotta like the person you're dating, otherwise, it's gonna be a problem. And then you gotta ask yourself, as a parent, are you willing? Would you even date somebody that your kids don't like? I mean, granted, though, it's your decision, and they gotta live up with it. They gotta live up to it and whatnot. But mm,
And that's a hard. I mean, when it comes to kids, that's a hard one because there are a lot of reasons why kids could not like your partner. They could feel like your partner is going to replace them, and your partner is going to replace the time that they have. So in that sense, like that's one of those like self-awareness things. You have to have an understanding of what's going on with your kids. You have to have a healthy relationship with your kids so that if they're saying I don't like this person, it's because they genuinely don't like this person versus I don't like what this person represents in your life. Right. Um, so that's, yeah, I completely understand with what you're saying. Um, and can agree with that because for me, like family is really important to me. And in my ideal world, I would love to have a partner who is a part of my family, who can come to our family reunions and be in on all the action, not sitting in a corner smoldering about having to be there. Um, so I definitely understand what you're saying when you say that. Um, but yeah, so then the last pro, I think I would call it, um, I guess, to interracial or intercultural dating for me is like just being able to share a relationship with someone from a different culture. Like that bond has the potential to be very unique. Um, because you have to, if you've done all the work that we talked about before, that self-awareness and have learning each other's cultures and doing all the work, being able to truly say like I understand and I respect and I accept this person as they are with all of our differences, like for me that is like the epitome of unconditional love, right? Knowing that people may look at us and throw shade and say and do all of these negative things, knowing that our family might not accept us, knowing that all these things are happening, but I still wholeheartedly love and accept this person like that. That is beautiful, has a potential for beauty. So with that being said, now that we have talked all about the pros and the cons and the things, the isms of intercultural, interracial dating, yes or no, do you support intercultural or interracial dating as a whole?
oh, me? Yeah. I mean, sure. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Would you prefer it for yourself or do you prefer the alternative? Like, would you prefer to marry a Haitian or Haitian American?
I'm all about the vibe though more than anything. If the vibe, like I love my culture, don't get it wrong, but it's not my primary go to. I'm all about the vibe though. But if the vibe ends up me being with a Haitian chick, it makes it well. Does it make it easier? Yeah, does it? Because it's like we understand each other. There is no need for me to explain further. But on an off chance though, we're also on an off chance. Let's say they are like that, but then it's like my character is something different. So from what the traditional Haitian man is, yeah. So it's like, would I do it for sure? Absolutely, yeah. I would definitely date somebody outside of my cultural race, but once again, it all depends on how I feel though too about that individual. Is it going to be enough to
That's a great
sustain
question.
to sustain me in our relationship? Because it's like you can be like, yeah, I can have fun with them, but you mean like be with them long term? It's all about I'm all about the vibe and the connection and the like. If there's a strong deep connection, and I look at the future and it may even look bare, because it's like it's a cultural difference, and I gotta see. I don't know what that future entails, because it's like how I'm gonna be. how I am, because one, I'm single, so how I am when I'm in a single relationship versus me being married to somebody or me dating somebody who's on a family dynamic tip. I have to look. I have to look and think about what the future is going to look like. The family up, like you're like talking to somebody now. They're American. I'm Haitian. They got kids. So in my family, it's like when you come around, like we got family functions, and then kids are gonna speak languages they're not familiar with. And when they bring their kid around, that's another thing that could also be that can also play a role into
Yeah.
affecting a dating situation where the kids are not gonna understand this person's family dynamic. It's like how do you navigate through those situations? It really falls back on to me. I would definitely. It all depends on the vibe because the vibe and the energy is gonna determine the level of work I'm gonna put into it, the desire of work I'm gonna put into it. We all when we want something, we work hard for it, don't we? So the same thing applies in that relationship. If I want that individual, I don't need them, but if I want that individual,
Okay. Okay.
then I'm gonna put in the work. And if they want me, then they're gonna put in the work too. And we can make it work together. Failure should not. I mean, we could make it work together. If we fail, we fail, and we want to keep trying again. Then yeah. But if we come to a point where it's not it, then it's not it. At least we gave it a good shot. At least we gave it a shot mutually. And so yeah, interracial dating for me, yeah, sure. I mean, I've done it, so it's like still doing it. So yeah.
So then, well, you're interculturally dating, I guess, right now in this present moment.
Hmm.
So then, when you dated interracially in the past, did you encounter any issues?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whether I'm Haitian or not, it's like you're black.
Eh,
The
okay.
the color card is always the color card is always the biggest defining factor. It's like, oh, you're so great and so cool, but I can't really be with you like that because my mom or my grandmother or so and so will disown me, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
yeah, I can't be with a black person. Yeah, I mean, you run into that sometimes, and then you run into the ones where they're in it for you, and then it's like, I don't know, I get a get out vibe, and I'm just like,
Yeah. And see, that's what concerns me about the interracial dating. Like I interculturally, I'm all for it. Like I love culture. Interracially, I'm I'm scared. Okay, I'm a little scared. I'm just gonna be honest because I dated a long time ago. I dated a white American, and I remember he was from Idaho. Okay, and I remember his family was so excited to meet me. And every time they saw me, they would be like, oh my gosh, you're just so pretty. And I would be like, why are y'all so excited? Like, I'm flattered. This is kind of weird. Like, every time, like, video chat, like, oh my, she's just so pretty. It's just, well, we can't wait. And I'm just like, oh, this is really weird. And maybe they're just like that in Idaho. They're super excited. But then in the back of my mind, I was thinking, like, because we didn't have this conversation, like, am I the first brown girl that you're bringing home? Have they ever seen a brown person before? Like, because y'all are in Idaho, so this is, if I go, am I going to come back? Like, these legit, all the things that are going through my mind. And granted, our relationship never made it to that place, but like, I don't, like I said before, I don't want to be somebody's experiment. Like, I don't want to be somebody's novelty. I don't want to be that like thing behind the glass that we all look at because it's so fascinating, because it's so different. Like, it reminds me when I was in Japan and the little kids were so fascinated by the color of our skin. They would literally walk up to my son and I, they'd be like this close to his face, just staring at him. And he would just be like, okay. But that's like, I don't want that in a relationship. I don't want that. I want you to see me, not because of the color of my skin, but because of who I am. And I feel like interculturally, that's a lot easier and safer than interracially. Am I against interracial marriage? No, you do you. If you find somebody that is on the same level as you and you guys connect and it feels good, do it. Um, just for me, like those are some of the things that go across my minds. Like it's just it. Um, I have a friend now who predominantly dates Black men. And one of the things I remember I had a conversation with her about this, and one of the things that she brought up was that she likes them because they're straightforward. If all the ones that she's encountered, if they liked her, they would just walk up to her and say, I like you, let's get together, whatever. Versus her experience with white Americans is like they would beat around the bush and be really like coy and white American men and be all weird. And so she said she liked that energy from Black men. And I was like, man, that's really interesting. I never really thought about the difference. But that's also something to think about. Like when you're thinking about dating people, like, is there something about this person's culture that is more attractive to me than this other person's culture? I never really sat and thought about that, but those are the things.
that is a good example, and all of the stuff you just said there, they all are very valid and very, because it's like I said, I get them Get Out vibes, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. So good. It's like you, boy. Listen, I get it, and I'm just like, I feel you, but I'm not feeling the vibe.